let's give my man Wild Swift, you know what I'm saying? Come out.
Compared to like everyone else, you were really into like, how am I gonna make a like just, it doesn't matter if it's super hyper or whatever.
Right.
It's just how can I make it something different? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
no
it was
doubt,
just like
no
it's almost
doubt,
like
no
live
doubt.
production. Like let me do Premiere
Live production.
in real time. Yeah, like in real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So with that routine, that was me building on the bridge, blow your head
Okay.
pause routine.
Okay.
So the video that you just showed, I'm using like a battle break, right? On the, I think it might have been the right turntable, just a drum beat from a battle break record. And on the opposite turntable, I had the Resurrection Common remix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, it wasn't the remix. It was the original version.
Okay.
On the original version, there's a part where you hear that piano chord being played. And again, I was at the time thinking like a producer on the turntables because I had just gotten an SP1200 sampler courtesy of the rapper that I was DJing for, Akinelli. So I recorded my scratches on Akinelli's first album because he tapped me to be his DJ after I won the 92 DMC. And so as payment, he gave me $500 and an SP1200.
Oh shit! Yeah,
So
nice.
I started learning how to make beats. Large Professor, big ups to Large Professor. He was a huge inspiration for me. Just sitting in the studio and watching him take one guitar lick and then build a 4-minute song from one guitar lick, and seeing that process was just amazing for me. And it reminded me of what I do as a beat juggler. And it also helped me understand the potential of what I could do, that I didn't have to just flip patterns the way Steve D was flipping patterns. I can treat this like a soundboard, like a 24-track board in the studio. It has faders. I could fade shit out. I could bring sounds back in. And so with that song, with the main version, the regular version of Common's Resurrection, the part where you hear those piano chords being played, what I did was I took a piece of tape, because there was no Serato back then.
Yeah.
And I strategically placed it on the part of the vinyl where those notes were playing, those piano notes, and then let the needle hit the tape so that the tape made the needle skip back.
Right.
So that's why when you were playing it earlier, I don't know if people noticed, but maybe you might want to play it again. But while it's playing, you hear the needle skipping back on the piece of tape.
Yeah, that's what, to me, that was the genius part, right? Like for me, I mean, for those who don't know, because I tried to scratch a long time ago, right? But so I know exactly what you're talking about, right? You made it bounce to get back into the note and looped it. That's why, to me, that was the genius part.
Right.
Yeah, that was the genius part.
Right now, you could take Serato, an app, and just hit or click on the word loop and loop a sound within a second. But I had to be inventive and think, how am I going to make that sound loop? So I took a piece of tape, strategically placed it on the record. So in the video, you literally hear dun 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 dun.
Yeah, right there. And you know, to me, the best part was the head nod of the crowd. You know how usually in the back in the day with those DJ battles, everyone was like, yeah. This was like everyone's here, like in unison. You know what I'm saying? So that's what was dope about that.
Yeah,
you know, that routine. You know what I'm saying?
DJing back then was about being inventive, resourceful, having an imagination. The same thing goes for breaking in the 70s and the early 80s. Same thing goes for rapping and graffiti. Like, not to shit on technology or anything, because I do that enough in my podcast interviews. But what I will say is that before all of this techie stuff that you could do on your phone and on your laptop, there were few of us doing what a gazillion people do now because it was so fucking hard. It was so fucking hard, right? And so you had to make the commitment to this shit. You had to make the commitment to go buy the records. You had to make the commitment to sit in front of your turntables and brainstorm how are you going to make those piano notes loop and sit there and figure that shit out and look at your turntable and figure it out. And now it's just so easy. Everything is just easy. I would say
I can take my phone and loop a beat right now if I wanted to, right? Like,